Hello, hello. This is Dr. Janice R. Love, also known as the First Lady Coach, and I help women married to pastors, senior pastors' wives, and seasoned pastors' wives to have that authentic and harmonious life by having that clarity, the confidence, and the courage to stand on their own platform. Hello, 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 everybody. It is Sunday. Hopefully, everybody had a good day today. Let me try to get this thing working right here. I hope everybody had a really good day today. It is Sunday. We had a great time at church. The weather's been crazy here in Kansas City, so hopefully wherever you are, it has been a little bit better. It was hot all week, and then we had a really bad thunderstorm last night, so it has just been different around here. So how's everybody doing this evening? Again, we are here for our Pearl Power Series. If you have been following me, you know that this is session number 4. And we have been talking about a variety of things. For instance, the first night we came out here, we talked about how to know that you've been chosen, right? Especially if you are a chosen wife. How do you know that you are a chosen wife? And then secondly, we talked about when does the pastor's wife feel free to reclaim her life calling? And it wasn't about a calling to preach. So if that's what you got out of it, go back and watch it again. It's all about how to reclaim your own life calling, that thing that God created you to do. And then thirdly, we talked about how to stop that negative self-talk that we may often have that keeps us stuck. So hopefully if you've been watching those, if you haven't, go back and check out the replays, and then you'll be caught up with us here on session number 4. So tonight, we are going to be talking about how to be your husband's greatest asset and never sacrifice who you are. Now let's think about wives and what we are taught and how we are raised. We have been raised to believe that we can have that happy, harmonious life and that happy marriage, right? So we started out on a good track. We wanted to live happily ever after. You know, again, I'm a romantic at heart. So I always dreamed that whenever I would get married, I would get married and live happily ever after to the man of my dreams, and I'd be in tune with him, he'd be in tune with me, and then that he would make sure that I felt appreciated, valued, and all of the above. Okay. So we often set out on a journey. And again, many of us wanted to do the right thing. So we started out on a journey of trying to be the very best wife that we could be. In fact, we've all read that scripture, Proverbs, 18 and 22, that tells us that he that finds a wife finds a good thing. And we knew that when we got married, our husband had found a good thing. Anybody with me? Did your husband find a good thing when he married you? All right. So let me read the TPT version on that, because y'all know I just love the TPT version. When a man finds a wife, he has found a treasure, for she is the gift of God to bring him joy and pleasure. Now, ladies, we have done our jobs. We have brought our husbands joy and pleasure. I guarantee you, if you're on this, you're not one of those that's just kind of been ignoring your husband. You have brought him joy and pleasure, and you are, again, a gift to him, right? And again, we've done our job because data shows, listen to this, y'all. Data shows that married men are way better off than single men, right? And married men have all these benefits because they are married. Let me tell you about some of those. They are happier. And your husband just as happy as he can be, right? They are healthier, believe it or not. Married men, despite eating all that food some of y'all cooking, they are healthier. In fact, they live longer. The other thing that married men benefit from is they tend to have better careers than non-married men. And then finally, they make more money. That's a good thing, right? So because of you being a wife to your husband is in a better position. Now, I haven't found any statistics out there that necessarily say all the benefits that women get, but for men, they get several benefits because they have chosen to be married. And the data even shows that bad marriages, men benefit. You hear that? Even in bad marriages, the men benefit again because they used to make more money, they have better careers, they're healthier, and they live longer. And they're happier. Go figure. All right. So again, we put in the work as wives, and especially those of us who want to be godly wives. We have put in the work. Anybody out there put in the work before? Have you put in the work to definitely show your husband how much he loves you? Have you put in the work to be that godly wife? Have you done that, right? And there are several ways that we kind of figured out how to do it. We'd read up on things, we'd study, we'd learn things, and even the things that are present in the Bible that teaches us how to be a godly wife. You know, we go to the 31, the Proverbs 31, and we look at that, and yeah, we always bring that out when we want to talk about somebody, about being a godly wife. But you know, we have done our work again. So a lot of us may have read some books. Like, I am a book reader. I love reading books, and I learn a lot from books. So back when I first got married in my younger ages, as a young bride, I did all the right things. I read the five love languages. I read that. I read. I'm dating myself. But I read Men are from Mars, Women are from Venus. Y'all remember that? That tried to teach you all the differences between men and women. Y'all remember that book? And then recently we've read The Love Dare, right? We have watched the movie The War Room. We've learned from those things about how we should be a good wife. And then the number one thing I have found among Christian women who are of a certain age, at least, is that we read Stormy O. Martin's book, How to Be a Praying Wife. We read it, we underlined it, we highlighted it, we prayed on those prayers. We kept going in that book like it was the Bible when it comes to being a good wife, right? How many of y'all read that book? Go ahead and tell on yourself, because I know some of y'all read that book, because we've talked about this before. But that was one of the number one go-tos that we often use to be that praying wife, to be that gift that God asked us to be. But you know what? Though all of that stuff, and I'm going to tell you, I'm calling out the industry here, and even Stormy, all that stuff that they taught us to do was designed to tell us how to meet our husband's needs. I'm calling it out. Everything in there talks about how you should be praying for your husband, how you should be doing this, how you should be doing this, pray for him on this. This is what you do. This didn't ask you nothing about what you wanted. So of course we sacrifice ourselves. Like I said, we spent many hours in those books, watching movies, studying, trying to learn how to be the good, praying, good wife. And it left us meeting our husband needs, right? Because he's getting all the benefits, but it left us without oftentimes our emotional needs being met. Now, the world, the world will tell you oftentimes that we are, or even some areas that even some religious areas will tell us that it is our job to make our husbands happy. And again, I'm with you on that. It is our job, but it is also our job, our husband's job, to help with our happiness. But beyond all that, I'm not here to talk about what you need to tell your husband to do. I'm here to help you, right, to become your husband's greatest asset without losing yourself in the process. So stick with me here. All right. So our husbands are happy, and for the most part, I'm assuming that. Okay, if you're out here, hopefully that's the case. If not, we need to have a whole nother conversation. Okay. But again, what have men been taught about how to help us meet our needs, especially when it comes to our emotional needs? Oftentimes, we will put our own needs on the back burner for everybody else, right? Let me give you a perfect example of just how we do it second nature. Back when my husband and I were dating, he would often come over on Friday nights, especially when it was a weekend that we had both had our children. He would come over on Friday nights, and oftentimes he would pick up a pizza or something for the kids to enjoy, so that I didn't have to worry about dinner. Okay. So he would usually pick up a pizza and then bring it over. The kids would have fun. We'd all have fun together. And then, life would go on. So one Friday before he went to pick up the pizza, he called me and said, "What kind of pizza do you want?" And that just did something for me. Now it don't take much, y'all, but that did something for me because we're so used to sacrificing what we want in order to take care of everybody else's needs. I just wanted the kids to be happy. I just wanted some peace and quiet, right? And everybody to be fed. I didn't care about whether or not I got my needs met as far as pizza is concerned. And the thing is, I'm actually picky about pizza, but I sacrificed that because of him. So then when you also look at the in the Bible, it oftentimes makes it look like, and again in the world too, it makes it look like that women only need stuff. So when they want something, all it is stuff. So if you were hanging out with me, I'm going to be talking about Esther a lot, right? So if you don't know the story of Esther in the Bible, take some time to read that, okay? Because so many things that I talk about happened in Esther's life and apply right here. So even when Esther had a serious need of her husband, when she had a serious need, number one, she had to ask permission to go see him, right? But when she had a serious need, the first thing that man said was, "What do you want, Esther? I'll give you as much. I will give you as much as half of my kingdom." He was thinking that she wanted some stuff, some money, to own some stuff. No, she simply had a need that didn't have anything to do with money or buying stuff, clothes, whatever. She had a need. And then when you think about Esther, she knew her husband's needs. She knew all about her husband. This woman spent 4 years studying her to be husband before she ever got a chance to meet him. So she knew all about his needs. And that's how we are. We tend to understand our husband's needs, whether we've read them or whether or not we have observed them and made it our job to understand their needs. All right. So let me move on here. Okay, I don't want to get stuck there because I can talk about Esther all night, y'all. Me and Esther, that's my girl. I can talk about her all night. But anyway, what happens to women when our emotional needs do not get met, or even some other needs when they do not get met? Several things can happen to us. Number one, we can start complaining. We can start complaining to him or to our girlfriends. We can become sarcastic. You ever been in the office and somebody says something about what their husband didn't do or whatever? It becomes a source of sarcasm, right? You can become angry. You can become hopeless. You can start to pick fights, right? You can become frustrated. You can become resentful because your husband, you're doing all this stuff for him, and you might feel like that your needs are not being met. You can start trying to minimize your needs, saying, "Oh, well, it's not that important," all because your needs are not getting met. Or sometimes you can simply withdraw. Now, when you look in the world of marriages, okay, and hubby and I get calls all the time from couples who need to do the work, okay, because they are having challenges. And let me slow down here. As I talked about all the things we might experience when our needs are not getting met, it's even more challenging for the woman who is married to a pastor or married to an influencer, because we are blessed. We are blessed because we have men who are serving God. We are blessed because so many people respect them. We are blessed because our husband is honored at the city gate, right? Proverbs 31. And when we feel some kind of way because our needs are not getting met, then we even start to feel guilty because we should be grateful that we have a husband who is respected at the city gate. We should feel grateful that our husband is doing well and he is successful in what he does. We should feel grateful. So more guilt sets in and you are feeling really now some kind of way. Now, let me go back. So my husband and I oftentimes will work with couples who are struggling in various areas. Here are the number one reasons that couples are challenged or are having problems in their marriage. Communication issues is number one. First thing we hear a lot is that there is not enough communication, or we can't seem to communicate. There are differences, right? There are boundaries that have been ignored. There are personality differences. Then, of course, they say it's number one, but I don't quite think it's number one. Fighting about money. That's a big thing for couples. And then there are different life stages, or there's a challenge for their division of labor, or sexual intimacy. We know that can be a problem, or compatibility. All right. So when we work with couples, what we want to help them have is what I call marital harmony, right? People talk about balance, right? Balance is when everything's equal, that everything's equal. It weighs 50 pounds over here, weighs 50 pounds over here, and it's equal. Marriage isn't about equal. Marriage is about harmonious, harmony. Now, every time I come out here, I say that I equip seasoned pastors' wives to have an authentic and harmonious life by having the clarity, the confidence, and the courage to stand on their own platform. So, what am I talking about when it comes to this harmonious life? This is the part that where a couple is walking side by side in harmony. So, what do you need to have that harmonious life? There's several things you need in order to have that harmonious life. And that is something that in my Chosen Pearls mentoring program, that we focus on, because I want you to have that harmonious life. Why would God sentence the woman who is the place where a weary husband who has been dealing with all kinds of mess in the world? Why would God sentence the woman who is the place where he lays his weary head to a life of misery, not getting her needs met, right? So it all starts with being able to know what you need in the first place, right? You got to know what you need. So many times we don't even know what we need because we have not taken an assessment. We have not truly looked at our lives to know what it is that we don't even know how God designed us and the needs that we have. So the first thing we have to know, right? And then the second thing, you have to be able to communicate that, right? So if you have a need, you need to be able to know how to communicate that. And then finally, you need to know how to negotiate that. So many of us, again, don't know what we need. We again, we're so used to sacrificing our own needs that we don't even know what we need. So we again might ask for stuff instead of what we really need, or we might blow up and finally get to that point where we say the words that any man hates to hear. We need to talk. Have you ever? I try to go away from that as much as possible. So again, when you don't know what you need, when you don't know how to communicate those needs, and you don't know how to negotiate those needs, then you're going to find yourself challenged and not ever getting your needs met. As a result, you are sacrificing who you are. All right. So anyway, back to my Chosen Pearls Coach mentoring program. We spend a lot of time getting to know who you are, what your needs are, and then I teach you my proprietary method, which is what I call respect if. My method, where we are able to identify your needs, we're able to communicate your needs, and we are able to negotiate your needs, because he can only respect your needs if he knows what they are. All right. So again, how to become your husband's greatest asset, which you're most likely already doing, but you may be neglecting your own self in the process. So I would love to teach you how to be your husband's greatest asset without ever or never sacrificing who you are. So if you'd love to hear more about my Chosen Pearls mentoring program, definitely go to janicerlove.com/chosen pearls and learn a little bit more about that. It's a free video, about 15 minutes for you to watch, and you'll learn a lot more about some of the things that I am talking about, because some of you may feel like you're at a point in your life where you're ready to have that authentic and harmonious life by having that clarity, the confidence, and the courage to stand on your own platform. All right, so we have been out here talking about again how you can be your husband's greatest asset without ever having to sacrifice who you are. I will be back out here on Tuesday night with another lesson, session number 5. And it's going to be a good one. So make sure you do not miss that. Thanks to all for who joined me on today. Thank you so much for joining me. And again, I've been coming out here on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Time to share with you part of my Pearl Power series, which is ultimately designed to help you unleash your God-given superpowers. Join me on Tuesday night. All right. So everybody have a good evening. Thanks so much for jumping in on the chat, and I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday night. Again, I am Dr. Janice R. Love, also known as the First Lady Coach, and I equip seasoned pastors' wives and women married to influencers to have a harmonious and authentic life by having that courage, the clarity, and the confidence to stand on your own platform. All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me, Consuela and Michelle and Kimberly. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.